Christmas market, orphan girl stole bread, single father paid, then took her and her sister home. Snow drifted through the December air like tiny feathers, settling on the glowing roofs of the Christmas market. Laughter rippled between the wooden stalls, and the warm scent of cinnamon and roasted nuts drifted across the crowd. It was a place made for joy, except for the girl who stood trembling near the bakery booth, her small hands hidden beneath sleeves too thin for the cold. 9-year-old Clara hadn't tasted fresh bread in days. She watched the baker slicing warm loaves, steam swirling upward like a promise. People bustled past her, parents holding mittens, children holding cocoa, yet she felt invisible, pressed against the shadows with her stomach growling loud enough she feared the baker might hear. But he didn't. Clara swallowed hard. Just one piece, she told herself. For me and Lily. Her 5-year-old sister was waiting in the abandoned shed they slept in now, too weak from hunger to join her. Clara didn't want to steal. Her mother used to say, kindness matters most when no one is watching. But kindness hadn't come their way in a long time. Her fingers closed around a small roll left near the edge of the counter. She slipped it under her coat just as a hand landed on her shoulder. Clara froze. Hey, a man's voice said, calm, not angry. She slowly lifted her gaze. He wasn't the baker. He wasn't even frowning. He was a tall man in a navy coat, a knitted scarf wrapped loosely around his neck. A little boy, maybe 4, held onto his leg while staring wide-eyed at her. Clara's breath hitched. I'm sorry. I'll put it back. Please don't call anyone. The man kneeled to her level. Are you hungry? She blinked rapidly. Tears burned her eyes, more from shame than fear. My sister, she hasn't eaten. The man nodded once, the simple, understanding kind that didn't require more explanation. He stood and turned to the baker. 2 loaves of your warmest bread, please. The baker's bushy eyebrows rose, but he handed over the loaves without question. The man paid, then gently placed one in Clara's arms. It almost seemed to melt against her frozen chest. For your sister, he said. And for you. Clara stared at the bread as if it were made of gold. Why would you do that? The man's gaze softened. Because someone once did the same for me. He gestured toward the little boy clinging to his coat. I'm Daniel. And this is Noah. Noah peeked out and gave Clara a shy wave. I'm Clara, she answered, hugging the bread closer. Thank you. Daniel hesitated before asking, where are your parents? The snowflakes suddenly felt heavy on her lashes. They passed away last year. Daniel swallowed, his jaw tightening. And you're caring for your sister alone? We're okay, Clara lied instinctively. I just needed food. Daniel glanced toward the market entrance, where families wandered in and out beneath strings of white lights. Where is she? Your sister. Clara hesitated. She didn't know him. She didn't want to lead anyone to Lily if it wasn't safe. But Daniel had already shown kindness, more than anyone had in months. She's not far, Clara whispered. Can I walk with you? Daniel asked. Something inside Clara, the part that had been braced for danger, slowly, tentatively, uncoiled. She nodded. The market's cheer faded behind them as Clara led Daniel and Noah through the back streets of town. Snow crunched beneath their boots. The warmth from the bread seeped into her arms as if reminding her she wasn't dreaming. They reached the old shed, its door barely hanging on. Clara slipped inside first. Lily, she called softly. A tiny, frail voice answered, Clara. Lily sat curled beneath a thin blanket, her cheeks pale, her lips chapped. When she saw the bread, her eyes widened. You got food. Daniel stepped into the doorway, stopping short when he saw the little girl. His breath caught, the way a person does when something inside them cracks wide open. Clara tore off a piece of bread and handed it to Lily. The little girl chewed slowly, as though tasting hope for the first time. Daniel exhaled and crouched down. "Hi there, Lily." Lily blinked. "Are you a doctor?" "No," he said gently, "but I'm a dad. And I know when kids shouldn't be out here alone." Clara tensed. "We don't have anywhere else to go." Daniel nodded. "I figured. My wife, Noah's mom, passed away 2 years ago. I know what it's like to lose someone who should still be here. And I know how hard it is to keep going alone." Clara's throat tightened. She stared down at the bread in her lap. Daniel's voice softened. "Why don't you both stay with us tonight? Just one night to get warm. We have an extra room. And I can bring some real food. No strings attached." Clara wanted to say yes. Her entire body screamed for warmth, for safety, for somewhere Lily could sleep without fear. But she hesitated. "Why would you help strangers?" Daniel offered a small, bittersweet smile. "Because I promised my wife I'd raise Noah to be the kind of person who helps when it's hardest. And because you're not strangers anymore." Lily tugged Clara's sleeve. "Can we go? Please?" Clara finally whispered, "Okay." That night, for the first time in months, the girls slept in real beds. They ate warm soup. Noah shared his stuffed penguin with Lily, who clutched it tightly as she drifted off. Daniel watched them from the hallway, emotions swirling behind his tired eyes. In the days that followed, through conversations with social workers, doctors, and community volunteers, the impossible slowly became possible. By New Year's Eve, after paperwork and home visits and long, hopeful talks with the girls, Daniel officially became their foster parent. Months later, he adopted them. The house that had once felt too big, too quiet, now echoed with laughter and tiny footsteps. Clara learned to ride a bike. Lily planted flowers in the backyard with Noah. And Daniel discovered that love had room to grow again, even after heartbreak. One evening, nearly a year after that snowy market night, Clara stood beside Daniel on the porch, watching the lights flicker around town. "Why did you help us?" she asked softly. Daniel looked down at her, smiling. "Because kindness is the one thing that never runs out. And sometimes, it finds the people who need it most." Clara leaned into him, her heart full. And in the quiet glow of the porch lights, it became clear, a single moment of compassion had rewritten the story of 3 families, into one.